Yeah, a very good evening everyone. Welcome to the Pre Naipunyata Workbook program of CivicCentre. You might have seen the workbook which we have provided for you, and I think you're pretty much aware of how the program works and what's the main purpose of this program, right? Now, if you have looked at the question, this question was given in the context of the editorial which was given in the Hindu, and it's saying India's demographic journey of hits and misses. What is the main essence of this article? The main essence of this article is about the hits and misses, or the benefits and also the challenges which we have faced with respect to the demographic growing population of the country and also the demographic dividend of the country, right? In this article, the author of the article tried to explain the population dynamics, the changing population dynamics of the country. If you have seen during the 1960s, the population grew at the rate of 2%, and as soon as we reached to the 1970s and all, during that time the healthcare systems improved and life expectancy of the people improved, and slowly the living conditions and the infrastructure provided, healthcare provided, everything improved. From then the population kept on increasing. For that we have many factors. Like increase in the maternal mortality rate, right, and also decrease decrease in the number of people living in the poverty. Like that, many factors are there, right? In this essence, the main article is given in this essence with regard to the changing population dynamics and what are the factors which contributed towards the sustainable development goals, reaching the sustainable development goals for the country. At the same time, what all things we have missed, or what are the challenges which we are facing with respect to it, right? In this context, if you see the question which we have given, so this is the article, and these are the PYQs with respect to population which were given in the previous UPSC mains. Okay, so if you look at the question which we have given, India's journey from the brink, just give me a second. India's journey from the brink of a demographic disaster to striving towards the 2030 goal of leaving no one behind has seen a couple of hits and misses. Evaluate. Now, what is the context of this question? We all know yesterday was World Population Day, right? And the theme for the World Population Day for the 24 year was leave no one behind. Leave no one behind, count everyone. Leaving no one behind and counting everyone. So this was the theme of the yesterday's World Population Day 2024. What is meant by leaving no one behind? Like you are including or making people part of the development of the nation. And when we talk about the development of the nation, what do we mainly talk about? Poverty, like number of poor people should be less, right? Zero hunger, so but people shouldn't be facing with the hunger. And third, what is it? Good health for all. These are the main aspects. And in this context, with respect to reaching these sustainable development goals, how far India has achieved, so we have to evaluate the statements. But we are talking about this in the context of one more scenario also. Now, India has crossed China to become the most populous country in the world. We have a population of around over 1.3 billion. With this respect, what is the main issue? There is benefit as well as it can become a disaster also. Now, if you look at the key concept of the question, key concept here is the demographic disaster, and you can say like contrary to that, demographic dividend also, right? Now, what is the keyword relevance? The keyword here is evaluate. So what do you mean by evaluate? Suppose, for example, if you're writing mains test series or Naipunyata in CivicCentre, when you write your answer, your weekend tests are being evaluated. What do you mean by evaluation? So when you are being evaluated, the person will be correcting your paper, he'll be giving the marks, and he'll be telling you what are the things which are good and what are the things which are bad, right? So evaluating is nothing but having a thorough analysis thorough analysis with facts. Having a thorough analysis and substantiating them with facts or examples or numbers. So that's what you have to do in this question. And so what are you evaluating now? You are evaluating the potential of India's democratic dividend. So how far we have come with respect to reaping the benefits of democratic dividend, at the same time coming closer to the sustainable development goals which are to be achieved by the year 2030. At the same time, what are the misses, what all did we miss, and what are the challenges still we are facing, what are the challenges we are still facing with respect to it. Now coming to the key concept of the question. So I would say there are two key concepts in this question. Both are obviously with respect to the growing population. Both are obviously with respect to the growing population of the nation, right? Because as I've told, I have established the context in the question. Both are with respect to the growing population of the nation. But what happens with respect to the growing population? What do you think? If the population is growing, I would say there are two scenarios which are possible. One is demographic dividend. One is demographic dividend, and the second one is demographic disaster, right? One is demographic dividend and the second one is demographic disaster. So when do you say the company, when you say the country is reaping the benefits of the demographic dividend? So demographic dividend is nothing but when the working age population, which is between the 15 years to 64 years, when the significant part of the population in this working age group, then you say then the country is enjoying the opportunities or reaping the benefits of the demographic dividend. So at present India has 68%. At present India has 68% of the population in this demographic dividend. So it provides us a significant opportunity. But there are few factors which are needed for the demographic dividend to turn into an economic dividend, to reap the economic benefits of the demographic dividend. So what do you think we all need? First thing, definitely we need education and skills. According to studies, we need education and skills, we need employment, we need, what else do we need? We need education and skills, we need employment, we need good health, and at the same time we need good policies or good governance. So why do we need good policies? With respect to the governance, we need good governance. So when you have these factors, this demographic dividend, whatever the country has the potential to turn towards an economic dividend. Now what do I mean by a demographic disaster? So when we don't reap the benefits of this scenario of country being in the demographic dividend, then it turns into a demographic disaster. So this demographic disaster is characterized by low birth rates, aging population, this demographic disaster is characterized by low birth rates, aging population. So what are the consequences of this low birth rates? In the sense, you are not going to get the new population into the working age group, into the demographic dividend group. And at the same time, aging population, in the sense, you have to spend more. You have to spend more on the people, rather they are not going to be of any benefit to the economy, right? So this this leads to lower economic growth or slowdown in the economy. So jobs are not significantly available. Jobs are not available for the people. So though jobs are there are no people to work for the jobs. So when the demographic dividend of a country is not used properly, that demographic dividend is turned into a demographic disaster. So this is the key concept. This is the key concept of the question. So as I have told, the key concept is demographic dividend and disaster. You can say these are the key concepts of the question. Demographic dividend and disaster. Now moving forward with the question. With respect to current affairs based interaction, how can you give a current affairs based interaction? You can say, as per the UN Population Prospects Report of India, UN Population Prospects of Report of 2022, for India, 68% 68% of the people are in the working age population. 68% of the people are in the working age population, and we have 25% under the age group of 0 to 14. And rest, how much do we have left? 7%. 7% are above 64 years of age or 65 years of age. So when we have this much of population under the working age, it provides a wonderful opportunity for India to reap the benefits of this demographic dividend. So this can be a simple current affairs introduction. The same thing actually you can write for a report based introduction also. Now, what is the definition of significance based introduction? How can you write it? With respect to definition of significance based, as I have told, like India has recently surpassed China to be the most populous country. At the same time, if with this population, with this much of population, this much of people in the working population, we have to reap the benefits of the demographic dividend with proper opportunities, with proper policies, or else it is going to become a demographic disaster. So this is the main significance of becoming, so you can say, being the most populous nation, India should come up with significant policies or whatever to reap the benefits of this much population. Then what about a report based introduction? So studies say that if we properly reap the benefits of the current changing dynamics of the demographic dividend, then by the year 2062, 43% of the GDP can be broken. What do you say? 43% of the GDP can be additionally harnessed just by this changing dynamics, of the population. At the same time, studies say that 1% increase in the working age population increases the per capita income of the nation by 5%. So you can say this is the main significance, or based on this, we can say that India has significant potential for reaping the or reaching the sustainable development goals through the demographic dividend. Now, coming to various dimensions, as I have told, what would be the main dimensions? So here the sustainable development goals mainly we are focusing on. First one is no poverty, right? Second one is zero hunger, and third one is good health. No poverty, zero hunger, and good health, right? So with respect to this itself, we'll just answer these dimensions in the answer. When you talk about development, we always talk about food, definitely food, shelter, good health is needed, right? All these things are needed for a person to be developed or a nation to be developed. They should be having access to such things, right? So with respect to the same thing, we'll answer the same dimensions in the question. What was the progress achieved with respect to poverty? What was the progress achieved by the country with respect to poverty? The progress achieved was the poverty of the nation reduced from 48% in 1990 to 10% in 2019 or 21. So we have significantly reduced the poverty. So with this reduction in poverty was based on many schemes, and one such scheme was Manrega, which was introduced in the year 2006. This played a very crucial role in reducing the poverty of the nation. Now coming to the second dimension. What was the second dimension we are talking about? The second dimension is zero hunger. If you look at with respect to the hunger, firstly India was not self-sufficient with respect to food, but later with the Green Revolution, we have become self-sufficient in the food, and in 2001, the number of people living under the hunger was 18.3%, but with respect to 2021, this number reduced to 16.6%. In this way, we are backlagging with respect to this. The same thing we are going to write in the challenge. So the first three dimensions which I am addressing, this is with respect to the benefit, which is with respect to the achievements which we have achieved with respect to the reaching the sustainable development goals. So significantly, like not significantly, but somewhat we have reduced the hunger. Somewhat we have reduced the hunger. And the third one is respect to the maternal mortality rate. It was 384.4. It was 384.4 in the year 2000. And this also significantly reduced to almost 160 in the year 2020. This also significantly reduced with respect to the year 2020, right? So with respect to the achievements, we have just addressed the three basic things. Which one is poverty, right? Hunger and good health. With respect to good health, you can always say that even the life expectancy of the people have increased. What are the main reasons for it? Because of having access to better health conditions, having access to better infrastructure, right? All these are the reasons. And for employment and for poverty, with respect to that, we have launched many schemes, and one scheme which I have given example is Manrega. But at the same time, with respect to it, we have significant challenges also. But what is the main challenge? Like you often see in news, one significant challenge is income inequality, right? One significant challenge is income inequality. So now we are coming to the fourth dimension. In fourth dimension, you can say that the first challenge you can write is income inequality. With respect to income inequality, top 1% are having 40% of the income, or top 10% of the people, or just 10% of the people are having almost 77% of the income. So you can say this is a very significant inequality, right? Now coming to with respect to the second dimension, which is double burden of diseases. Which is the double burden of the diseases, where we are facing the double burden from both communicable diseases as well as the non-communicable diseases. The burden of the disease we are facing from both communicable diseases as well as non-communicable diseases, which is a significant challenge, for the country. Now, coming to the third one. So what else problems do you think we are facing? We have talked about hunger. If you have seen the number of hunger with respect to it, we haven't achieved much, right? India ranked 111 out of 125 countries. India ranked 111 out of 125 countries with respect to hunger, right? With respect to hunger. So which is a very very bad number. Though we have launched initiatives like Poshan Abhiyan, whatever the policies we are getting, there is significant ramping up which is needed. With respect to the policies, right? Then what is the fourth one? As I have said, the population now though we have a lot of working age population, but once by the year 2061 or 2062 or by the year 2050 itself, all this population is going to age. At present, by 2015, we are having just 8% of non-working age population, and this population is going to be aged now. As I have told you, it's just 8%. Now this non-working age population is going to increase to 19% by the year 2050. 19% by the year 2050. But what do you think happens once the population is going to age? I have told you that the consequences of demographic disaster, they are not going to contribute to economy in any time, right? They are not be able to work. At the same time, government has to spend on them in return. For the health benefits of them. Right? So these are the main dimensions you can write. So what all, if we quickly recap. So we didn't talk about anything much. Even the examination, though you prepare so much content, you won't be having much. But it's all about this Pre Naipunyata workbook or the program is all about finding those right dimensions. Now that we have given dimensions, it will be very easy for you. Now you know what to write and what data to use. Many students face the, the problem with the structuring your answer. That was the main purpose of this Naipunyata. So if we quickly recap what we did, we have just taken the question, right? We have identified the key concept of the question. We understood the keyword. So according to keyword, what did I tell you? You have to write the evaluate the statement with respect to the benefits as well as challenges, and we have substantiated each and every point with facts or numbers, right? So I told you what are the key concepts of the question: demographic dividend and demographic disaster, and what will be the consequences of demographic disaster. Like there will be so much burden, right? And there will be increase in the crimes, and also there will be non-working population will be there, and no economic growth will be there. So all these are the negative consequences of the demographic disaster if you don't utilize your demographic dividend, right? So with respect to the current affairs based introduction, you can say that as per the UN population prospects, 68% of the country's population is in the working age. So we have the potential to use this to convert this demographic dividend into economic dividend. So what are the factors I told you is needed for the economic dividend? First one is first we need education, then you need employment, education and skills, employment, good health, and lastly this also, right? Lastly, good governance. And with respect to definition or significance based, so being the most population nation, or we have across the China's to countries population nation, and considering the kind of potential or the youth we have the significant, it is important for us to reap the benefits of the working age or the demographic dividend of the country, right? Then with respect to report based, what did I tell you? By 2062, if we properly use this changing population dynamics with respect to demographic dividend, you can the increase in GDP would be by 43%, and as per the studies, just 1% increase in the working age population is going to increase the per capita income of the nation by 5%. So with respect to that, we have given various dimensions with respect to poverty, health, poverty, and also hunger, and also maternal mortality rate, and then we wrote the challenges. And what more challenges can you write? So one more challenge you can write is as is gender inequality, right? Though we have that, though we are achieving so much, even the social inequalities are there, gender inequalities are there. Even that's such a challenge, right? So what would be a balanced? What would be a balanced conclusion for it? The balanced conclusion would be, so what do you mean by balanced conclusion? Balanced in a sense, so lastly we have ended with the, we have stated the challenges. A balanced conclusion would be, though India has significantly achieved so many things, there are so many things which we are lagging behind, where so we need appropriate policies, appropriate conducive environment to create good opportunities for the people, for the skill development of the youth. So in that way you can write a balanced conclusion. But what about the SDG based? So SDG linked from so far in the question we have always talked about what? So far in the question we only talked about the hunger, education and health. In the same way, and if you link it in with the challenge, the first thing we talked about is inequality. So you can write the SDG linked conclusion in such a way that, considering the kind of inequalities we have in India, even though we see significant growth in the GDP of the country, the benefits won't be enjoyed by everyone, and it won't lead to sustainable development. So for us to ensure this sustainable development, there should be equitable distribution of health or equitable distribution of wealth. So financially, or the policy should be in such a way that everyone enjoys the benefits, everyone enjoys the benefits, and the policies of the government or the approach towards the government should be in this way, right? So SDG link, you can give it in that way. Then what about futuristic based? What about futuristic based? So futuristic based in the sense, what are you planning for the future? What are you planning for the future? In what respect are you going to answer this? So as I have used in the same data also, by 2062, so by 2062, if we use this we use the population properly, you can increase the GDP by 40%. You can give in that way, right? Or else you can say that for the near future or the far future, for us to enjoy the benefits of the demographic dividend, there should be a collaboration. A good collaboration is necessary between the government and other stakeholders. A good cooperation should be, so multiple stakeholders are involved. So we need a multi-pronged approach. And we need a cooperated approach to make India reach the sustainable development goals of zero poverty, no hunger, or good health for all, right? And with respect to the index or main aspects reports to it, we have quoted many reports. First, we have quoted, what did we quote? We quoted UN Population Prospects Report. Alright, then we talked about the poverty. Right, then we talked about the hunger, and also we talked about the maternal mortality rate. And here you can say talk about the fertility rate, because when we in the editorial also, when we see historically slowly when the 1960s the population dynamics were different, but from 1970s the population dynamics have changed, and people are mainly the total fertility rate. The total fertility rate reduced from 3.4 to 2, which is the below the replacement level, right? So you can quote even this also. We can say, based on this, we can say that people are more moving more towards like the joint family or the big families towards the nuclear families, where the family size is small. When the family size is small, the number of people depending on the working people would be very less, and there will be more number of people who will be able to work. So even that has the potential, those are the potential demographic dividend for the nation, right? So the main aspects, you can use this in your answer. Okay, hope I have cleared how can you structurize this answer. And from today, every day you will be having this Pre Naipunyata session, and in every day we will be taking one editorial from the previous day. So this was given on July 12th, right? So one editorial from the previous day will be taken, and based on that we will be having a discussion every day. Timings will be intimated. Yeah, thank you so much for joining.